in just 24 hours, you're exposed to more radiation than your grandparents were in their entire life.
We are seeing autism rates go up among our children. Among men, we are seeing that men today, in 2025, have 50% of the testosterone of men in the 1980s. On your website, it says it's not blocking EMF. You've been very clear about this. It's harmonizing. What does that mean?
You cannot block it. If you block it, you either lose the data or actually worse, your device actually going to amplify power up to 1,000 times.
You've given me hope, but you're also really worrying me. Welcome, everyone, to a live taping of the Mindvalley podcast. Today we're going to be talking about something that I think is going to come to a shock to many of you guys. And we're going to look at the scientific evidence for this, and we're going to show you solutions. But I'm sure you've all heard about how many modern-day inventions can actually wreak havoc on our body and our mind. Take, for example, microplastics. You've all read that microplastics can have a horrible impact on your blood work. And now there are longevity clinics where they drain your blood to remove the microplastics. Every human being carries enough microplastics in their bloodstream to form a credit card. That's how much plastic you have in your body. So there are a lot of these threats which are emerging from our modern way of living that we don't even really know about, and we don't know how this is going to impact us in the future. But what we are seeing, because our human bodies are so complex, what we are seeing is certain things that we cannot explain. We are seeing autism rates go up among our children. Among men, we are seeing that men today, in 2025, have 50% of the testosterone of men in the 1980s. And scientists aren't really sure why. So it's super important to look at, while we can embrace and honor our iPhone and modern electrical devices like Wi-Fi and the plastic credit card you use, we also got to be aware of the negative repercussions of this. So today we're going to talk about the invisible danger around us and a tiny tech called Bodywell that's quietly helping neutralize this danger. So I'd like to invite Dror, the founder of Bodywell, onto the stage, please. Dror. Give a big round of applause to Dror.
Thank you.
Welcome, Dror.
Thank you so much.
Have a seat. We're going to be having a discussion for about half an hour, but the threat that we're talking about right now is EMF radiation. Dror, explain what that is and why we should be concerned about this.
Well, to put it in perspective, in just 24 hours, you're exposed to more radiation than your grandparents were in their entire life.
Wait. Let me say that again. In 24 hours, we are exposed to more radiation than our grandparents were exposed to in their entire lifetime.
Yes.
And why is that?
Well, I mean, studies show it's almost 1 million times. Because now, think about it. Everything around us, we're using wireless technologies. And those devices actually man-made radiation. So that's the problem. It's very different from natural radiation. And the way it's interact with our body and stimulate us kind of take us out of balance very fast. And we don't really even know about it. The reason is that biologically, we're actually supposed to interact with electromagnetic waves. That's how we see,
right.
That's how we feel. But the man-made radiation that is done is totally different. It's on, in engineering, it's called coherent and polarized, which interact totally different with our body.
What exactly is going on here? Like, what is it doing to our body?
Well, if you think about it, all about photons, right? So it's like a light, but a light that we cannot see. So think about all our biological clock, and everything is around light, right? But right now, think about it, that this light that is visible for our eyes, but is for our brain, we definitely see it, and the brain is stimulated, so we don't have that research that is so important for our brain. We don't shut off and do that. We do meditations, but we cannot really have, it's almost try to do meditation when somebody poke you all the time.
Yeah. So, there's something really interesting about this that I want to bring up with you. I just saw an interview with Andrew Huberman and Tim Ferriss, and they were talking about how radiation from the cell phone can affect fertility in men. And so I got a crazy story. I want to share it with you guys, and I want to hear your explanation of this. I was reading Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Body. This was way back in around 2012. And what had happened was that my then wife and I had been trying 5 years for a kid. We couldn't conceive. So I'm reading the book 4-Hour Body, and Tim Ferriss talked about an experiment he did where he decided to take his cell phone out of his pocket and put it on his arm, right? Now, while his cell phone was in his pocket, his sperm quality was 15% good sperm, roughly. Within 30 days of taking it out of his pocket and putting it in his arm, the sperm quality went up to 85%. That's a huge boost.
Yes.
Okay, so again, we'd been trying for a kid, and no success for 5 years. And the doctor said it was me. So after reading this, I decided to try that same experiment. I took my cell phone out of my pocket, and I wore it on my arm. Okay, basically keeping it as far away as possible from my reproductive organs. In 1 month, we were able to conceive a baby. And that baby is now my 11-year-old daughter, Eve.
Wow.
In 1 month. What do you think was going on there?
Well, you're touching a very sensitive area because, you see, I myself, doing everything right. Actually, I never smoked in my life. I never drink alcohol. And I eating right, I meditating, I exercise and work out. And still, I felt, moody and brain fog. And then when we look on EMF, that's where everything changed. What actually happened to, we're deep in the science, we read the studies, but when you describe something like what's happened to you, that's actually resonates so much with your, forget about the science. I want to live well, right? This is actually why we call Bodywell. And to me, it's happened, even though with the science and everything else, we actually, COVID came and it's actually forced us to, not a regular life, where, we all work from home and we're much more EMF was exposed. And without paying attention, in a few months, I gained weight, I lost my focus, I felt exhausted. And, and then when we put something, that's where I said, let's look on the EMF part. And then we incorporate, our technology. Obviously, we did other things to mitigate those effects. And the change come. I lost my weight. I wake up 4 a.m., I do biking, I walk, and then after that, I'm playing. We gain our life back. I have to tell you why it's helped me because, I'm getting 55 years old, and I thought this is maybe age. I almost accept the fact that I'm just,
Right.
I'm not going to do some of the things that I
But
that
you
I
started
do.
neutralizing EMF. Now, how does Bodywell work? What exactly is it doing to neutralize EMF?
So we actually cannot escape EMF. We understand that,
Okay.
right? It's just going to be more. But we actually figure out how to not allow this effect to rack our biology. The way we do it is instead of, not like many companies, we don't focus on the wave itself. What we did, we interact, how this biological, how it's actually interact with our body, and we actually present a technology that resonated with the body, which allowed it to align, and so we're working with the body, and allow it to align so it's not going out of balance. And we did it in a very scientific way. We quantify and measurement, and it's consistent, and it's done in multiple universities and labs.
So at last night's event, you were doing a very interesting demonstration with several Mindvalley teachers. You would have them stand on one leg, you'd push their arm down, and then you'd give them a device to hold, and their strength would instantly increase.
Yes.
Can we do that demonstration with people in the audience?
Yeah.
Can we get a volunteer? Okay. Maybe that lady in the denim.
So we're going to do the demonstration, and
Yes.
then I'm going to explain, okay?
Yes,
So,
okay.
Okay. So
Do you
I
have a
want you
mic?
to
Could we
just
get
stand.
a handheld mic, please?
I'm going to have it.
And you have your device with you?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
perfect.
always have.
Let's check this out. You guys
So I
excited
want
to
you
see
just to
this?
focus and just keep straight and focus in the center of the body. Just stop and just be kind of stiff, right? Okay, pick up one of your legs.
Dror, just one thing, just so it's not your back.
I'm
If
sorry.
you could just stand to the side, okay? So
Yeah.
we can see your face as well.
So one of your leg up.
What of my leg?
Yeah. Just stand on one leg. Yeah. And, okay, just trying to be stiff.
Okay.
Okay? Now, hold it in your hand. Okay, give it to me. Maybe something. Let's try again. Yeah, just to focus again. Focus, straight, fix.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. Okay, again. I don't do a lot of power, right? Okay, now try this. Thank you so much.
Okay, so that's interesting, but it could be a random thing. How did that feel? Give her the mic.
That felt very interesting because
Did you feel stronger, or did you just feel that you could balance better?
I felt stronger and that I could balance better.
Okay, let's try one more.
Maybe I can explain. Or you want to do another demonstration?
Let's have you explain, and then let's do another demonstration.
Okay, so I want everybody to understand, like when you're going to a spa and you relax, right? We need to understand why we're relaxing when you're in a spa. So one of the things that need to remember that our brain constantly need to do few things where there is no tolerance. In other words, you have to do it, right? So when you regulate your temperature of your body, and when you balance, because if you don't alive, you fall, right? So you have to maintain your balance all the time, and there is no tolerance because if the body miss, you fall, or if the same way for the temperature.
Right.
So when you go to the spa, you immerse yourself in the water, so your body is regulated with temperature much easier, and then you don't need to balance yourself because in the water. Now, all your brain suddenly have free, like you have so many things that you can do, right? Unfortunately, since we're exposed to EMF, there is another element that constantly we need to require. It's almost like we're standing on a very soft floor. So your body needs to adjust and react all the time. What's actually happening, and what you actually saw, that as soon as I put that coherent information in her hand, that's almost like 30% she don't need to deal with. So she actually react faster. But reacting faster in biology, it's make you stronger, it's make you smarter, it's make you, your immune system is better and everything.
You're saying your neurons are passing information faster?
Yes.
Because of that.
Because they don't need to react to something else constantly.
Okay, so you're saying EMF radiation is causing our neurons to have to go into a defensive mechanism to react to something. That device is preventing that from happening. It's sort of force fielding the neurons, so the neurons are able to react faster.
Yes.
And that increases your strength, your balance, your thinking, everything.
And the idea is our brain has ability to focus on something that is recognized, right?
Right.
So if you imagine like a big board and you have a lot of letters, and I tried to tell you, look for something familiar, right? It's going to be very hard for you to focus on that. But if I put suddenly your name, even though we jump around, your brain suddenly will go after it because it's designed to go to something that's familiar. Our information is represent to the body something coherent and familiar, so it can ignore the noise.
That's interesting. Okay, let's try it one more time, this time with a guy. I want to volunteer, a man. Okay, he just got up and chose himself. Okay, let's try again.
He says, I have to do it, right?
Okay.
Okay, stand over here. And then just try to be as stiff as possible. Take one of your leg up. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, try to be stiff. Okay. Now let's do it.
You do this?
Yeah. Okay, let's take it off again. So maybe just think it's in your hand, okay? Okay, again. Okay. You want me to do hard so you feel? Okay.
Do it again.
Look at that face. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So Dror, this is puzzling. Okay, but firstly, taking us a step back, I'm trying to understand scientifically, what are the EMFs doing to our nervous system?
So, it's already a fact that people don't know. Maybe we're going to touch it a bit why. But there is already, in 2011, the World Health Organization categorized it, cell phone radiation as carcinogen, as possible carcinogen. The same class as lead and DDT, which was those elements already either very heavy regulated or totally banned.
The World Health Organization already classified this.
Yes. And then you have kids?
Yes.
So, and you mentioned that. So, do you know that actually children absorb up to 10 times more radiation to their developing brain
Wow.
when compared to adults?
Yeah.
You know, and you mentioned the sperm quality and testosterone, and really, like, there is also multi peer review studies, including Harvard University and Yale, that actually link cell phone radiations to sperm quality, to oxidative stress, to including even DNA damage.
So if this is true, why aren't we hearing more about this?
Well, this is a 2 trillion industry that we're talking about. And if you want to ask why we don't hear about it, there is no incentive for them to it's follow the money, right? There is no incentive for them
There's no
to
incentive
educate us.
for Apple to add this device to their iPhones.
Unfortunately, this is the situation. And they
until the public demands it.
Yes.
Well, I can see what you mean, because if you look back at history, lead, we know how dangerous lead is, right? Lead is a poison, but lead was added to petrol, to gas,
correct,
until like the 1960s to prevent what is called engine knockback. And it was only after the government saw overwhelming evidence on this that lead was banned. And then, of course, you know, lead is now removed from our paints as well. So I think industry will not adapt until there's overwhelming scientific evidence and governments intervene.
Yes.
But you're saying the WHO, the World Health Organization, has already declared EMFs as dangerous as lead.
Yeah, exactly. This is actually the same class of exhaust from your car.
Wow.
And you know, if you stay in your exhaust car, you can die. And this is actually the same classifications. So from one hand, the industry is very powerful, very influential. People don't know, but there is a website called Secrets. It's actually all the lobbying. So they lobby actually the telecommunications in the last 10 years over $115 million every year, just so to show to
$150 million paid every year in lobbying, basically legalized corruption.
That's correct.
Okay, so on your website, it says it's not blocking EMF. You've been very clear about this. It's harmonizing. What does that mean?
So what it actually mean? There is no way that we actually, people don't realize that this is not like normal radiation. This radiation actually transmit information. So we actually encoding data to the wave. So therefore, you cannot block it. If you block it, you either lose the data or actually worse, your device actually going to amplify power up to 1,000 times. People don't realize if you don't use the right thing, it can amplify up to 1,000 times more and you're exposed to more radiation. It's actually becoming more. So we actually focus on the body. That's why you call Bodywell. And when focus on the body, you resolve the issue without making anything to the waves. We're actually the only company that been certified here, actually in California, and did what we call TRP-TIS test, which actually showed that we have no effect on the phone, and in the same time, we reduce absorption of the energy in the body by 80%.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so, awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
How would we use this? Because I saw you give that device. It looks like a business card to people.
Yes.
Okay.
So we actually have what we call the biochip. The biochip is a small device, a small chip that we're putting on the phone, and this is actually designed to any device that come in direct contact with the body. The reason is when you have a direct contact, there is also concern of local exposure. So like you mentioned, the growing area, so it's went into pocket or whatever. So this actually will allow to protect it regardless of where you put it or how you use it.
So this one, you stick it on your phone.
Yes.
And you're saying it's especially important for kids because kids are experiencing 10 times
That's correct.
The effect as adults.
And the BioCard that you just did, that in what we did right now, it's actually a comprehensive protection from EMF environment, like Wi-Fi,
So
anything that not come in direct
that's the
contact.
card.
That's
So what
the
do you do
card.
with that card? You just keep it in your pocket or you tape it to your body?
Keep it in your pocket. It's, as long as it's in arm reach, it's actually protect you. Especially at night, it's recommended when you go to sleep and you want to reduce stimulation so your brain can do that, repair and recover mode. That's what we recommend. So you're a little bit away from devices and next to the card.
Many biohackers I know, like Ben Greenfield, who's an author on Mindvalley, what they do at night before going to bed is they turn off their Wi-Fi router across the house.
Yes.
Would you recommend something like that?
Of course. I recommend first to, because it's allowed our body to do the reset. That is so important for the body. So you reduce exposure, because the reduced exposure reduce stimulation. That's where your brain can shut off, right?
I see.
And then on top of that, we obviously recommend, the BioCard. It can be under your pillow. It can be on your nightstand, close to you, and you're gonna feel the difference. Like you saw this guy that's feeling it.
I see. That's incredible. I'm really curious about this. So what you said is you can't escape EMFs, but we've figured out how to stop them from wrecking your biology.
Exactly.
So it's sort of like noise-canceling headphones for your cells.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Okay. Now, I want to understand what is the science for this, because this sounds too good to be true.
So we actually did all the research and development in the USA. And like what I mentioned, we did the SAR test, which is specific absorption rate. So it's very, biological, always very hard to measure. But when you do it on the lab, you have to be consistent and repeated result. And we were able to show that we reduce absorption by 80%. On top of that, we did an EEG study, and where a person that exposed to EMF were dysfunctions of the electrosynchronization in the brain, and by Bodywell, we actually reduce it totally. And then the third one, we did actually thermal effects, and thermal effects is the one that we actually show in thermal imaging, how after 45 minutes, there is significant accumulation of heat in your head, and with Bodywell, we actually were able to cut it by half.
Wow. Okay, so all of these studies are on your website.
Yes, everything is...
What's the website again?
The website is bodywell.com.
Bodywell.com. Okay. So who should be using this? Like, how do we know if this is something that we should be using?
Well, we all been affected by it, but especially children, if you think about it. Would you send your son to in the sun with no protection? So why you will give him a tablet or phone without EMF protection?
You're right. You remind me of a quote in an interview with Steve Jobs. Somebody asked him, would you give your iPad to your kid? And he goes, no. Absolutely not. You've given me hope, but you're also really worrying me. Because I have two kids, and they grew up. I mean, minus the last generation of human beings that grew up without cell phones and tablets. Yeah. Entire next generation, anyone right now who's born after 2008 is basically growing up with iPhones and tablets. We could really be messing up our kids, and we won't even know for many more years. Like the ancient Romans, they built aqueducts, and they coated the aqueducts with lead, because lead would act as a seal so that the aqueduct's water could flow. And there's a theory that why there were so many mad Roman emperors like Caligula, who played the fiddle while Rome burned, was that the Romans were poisoning themselves with lead. And lead poisoning literally makes you mad. Lead exposure makes you mad. But the Romans didn't figure that out until many generations later, and many mad emperors. Are we going to be smarter and figure this out? Because we're in the first generation. And you just make me realize that that's my kids. So what you're saying is, this device we should be adding to our tablets and our phones.
That's correct.
And we should also be turning off our Wi-Fi routers, maybe putting our phone on sleep mode when we sleep. Does that help?
Yes, of course.
Or, sorry, airplane mode.
Yeah, I mean, you put airplane mode, and that's the combination you need to do in order to mitigate the harmful effect.
Okay, but what about Bluetooth?
It's the same. Bluetooth is the same thing. I mean, anything that that is wireless and it's come in direct contact with your body, especially if it's prolonged use, it's a concern.
Okay, so how would people be using this during bedtime? Is there a device that you put on your pillow, that you put on your bed?
Yeah, so what we recommend, like what you offer, like, reducing stimulation, and one of the things that, because you would not be able to escape it totally, right? So the card is actually going to help you do that research. We actually have some people over here that have experience with the card. We have two tennis players. They are young, that using our technology, and they cannot cannot live without it. And this is like what you saw. It's improving your reaction time. So it's not just for being like Bodywell, like how being even better, right? So everything we do over here is trying to excel, being in our peaks, not just not sick. And our technology help you gaining that. This is like almost what you do is the software, we are the hardware.
Yeah, I mean, we banned asbestos, we banned lead, but it took us decades to figure out that we were harming ourselves and harming our children, right?
Yes,
and so...
And we were going to look back the same things on EMF. I mean...
if the World Health Organization has declared this a danger, why aren't governments enforcing some standards?
Well, like what we mentioned, this is a very, very powerful industry that have, think about it, it's not just normal, because they control media, they control almost everything.
Yeah.
And they very much protect on the, people don't realize, but in 1996, under the Clinton administration, was the Telecommunication Act. And one of the strangest things that's happened over there, that they actually says that state, municipality, and anybody cannot prevent from infrastructure, even if they prove it's not from health reason. It actually says in the law that health reason is not a reason not to continue with infrastructure. So this is tell you they have immunity right now, and until awareness is going to grow, and there is a from the public, because we believe that technology actually can do a lot of things. We know how to do and mitigate those things, but today this is not the focus. There is no money over there.
There's no money in mitigation.
Yes.
But there is money in ensuring that people are hooked on Instagram, hooked on Facebook, on their cell phones, on mobile devices.
Yes, so I give you an example. They develop a technology that they don't publish, but this technology actually do dimming the new device that you have. So in order to dim devices, we usually used to just do less power, which is very good, right?
Yeah.
But today they actually don't do that. They do flickering. So in other words, the flicker, if you want dimmer, the flicker of the off is much longer than the on, and like dim. But this is actually creating a much different problem, because flickering is already proven to be very eye strain and epilepsy, and all that stuff. So if we know that, because there is a solution, it's actually more expensive to do the power. But if the public will be aware of that, they will require that, and then that's how technology eventually going to be also safer, not just better.
That's fascinating. Yeah, it shows how industry and human health are just so out of alignment. What does a Bodywell device cost?
Excuse me?
What does the Bodywell device cost?
Okay, so because you also invite us, we actually have a very special over here. I mean, the regular price is $99 for the biochip.
And that's for the one that you put in your cell phone?
Yes, and $269 for the card. But in this special, we have the $269. If you buy the bio card, you're getting the biochip for free.
I see.
And additional 10% because of Mindvalley.
I see. Got it. Wow, so thank you. Yeah. How many of you here would be interested in a device like this? That's great. The danger seems, the potential damage from the danger can seem frightening. I shared the study that Tim Ferriss did on sperm count, right? Imagine the number of childless couples that think something is off with them, not realizing that it could be the cell phone. And that's scientifically proven right now. Cell phones reduce sperm quality in men because you're literally placing a device that's radiating EMF that also produces heat right next to your balls, okay? And then, if you look at what Robert F. Kennedy has been talking about lately, the rising rates of autism among children in America. I believe I was speaking an event with RFK, and when he got on stage, he mentioned that autism rates used to be like 1 in 200, I think, before the year 2000. Now it's like 1 in 30. And some people say, okay, we are more strict with our diagnosis, but seems to be that something is off. If you look at the evidence, and we don't really know why. So I wonder if this could be one of the potential causes.
Of course, and it's actually already documented. We actually do a lot of work with scientists and engineers, and one of the concepts in medicine, actually it says the dose make the poison, right? So if you have anything that interacts with you biologically, it makes no sense. Just think about the dose from 1996, we didn't change the safety until today. Just how much, when it actually says heavy user used to be just half hour a day, when today the average kid is 6 hours, on this. So if the dose make the poison, how come it's allowed to everybody, kids, pregnant women, and anybody else? That's making the problem.
I don't think when Steve Jobs invented the iPhone, he would have foreseen how addictive it was going to be. Steve Jobs invented the iPhone, but he probably didn't know that Mark Zuckerberg was going to invent social media. Do you know what is like right now? I mean, if it wasn't for social media, what would you be using your iPhone for? Probably Uber, Instacart. But right now, the average American is spending 2.5 hours a day on social media. A day. And so it could be that even the inventors of the iPhone were not aware, and what you said, the dose makes the poison, is an extremely apt analogy.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a good opportunity to raise awareness, and people can take the good thing about Bodywell that is not required. It's actually waterproof. You don't need to update it. It's investment in your health. You buy it and you can move it between devices. So it's a very simple solution. You just attach it to your phone, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Dror. Go check out bodywell.com.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I just want to say, for those of you watching, do your research, check out the studies, all the scientific research, all the studies are on the website. Check it out. I think Dror makes an extremely compelling case. Thank you, Dror.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.